Welcome to this month's Teen Craft. We're going to make a plush Pop-Tart. So here we go. We have our felt and we are going to fold it in half like a book, not long ways like a skinny hot dog. We're going to fold it like a book because that's Pop-Tart shaped. And yeah, don't do it that way. It doesn't work. So we're going to do it this way. And then we're just going to give ourselves a little bit of a crease so it's easier to cut. And then you're just going to grab your scissors and cut right down the spine. So we have two pieces of felt. And then we're going to cut all around and make it sort of an imperfect shape. I don't know about you, but toaster pastries aren't perfect little squares. Then we are going to get our yarn and feed it through our needle. Our needle is sharp, so just be careful. I'm tying a little knot all the way at the end of my yarn. This is the tan yarn, so that it doesn't go through the felt when I'm sewing, and it holds everything stable. And then I've already fed it through the eye of my needle. And so we have our two layers. So we're going to go from the middle, this inside, and poke our needle through. By doing this, we're hiding the knot in the middle of our fabric so we don't see the knot on the outside. And just be careful pulling it through. You don't want it to tangle or get knotted. But see, now my knot is hidden in between my two layers. And so I'm just going to start sewing, and it's kind of like the contrast thread is kind of like the little fork marks that you make with your pastry. So I've gone through the back, and now through the middle, I'm not going through the exact same spot that I was in before. I'm going slightly to the side. I'm going to pull that through carefully, try not to get any knots. Okay, so now I'm going to bring it to the back and go right where I was before. When it comes to the middle, I'm kind of scooching through the edge. So it's almost like a crooked stitch, but on the outside where we're seeing it, it doesn't look crooked at all. And it'll look nice and neat, and you can make your stitches however long or short that you want. But look, don't pull it too tight like that because then you crunch up your felt and that doesn't look right. So just keep it kind of loose. And then you're going to continue to do that. And we're going to go back through the back and do it kind of crooked so it comes out not in the same spot. I'm also going to show you how to do something called a blanket stitch. It's a little neater and more professional. These sort of wonky, fun, whimsical fork marks are fine. This is a little neater and it's a nice stitch to know. You don't have to do it, but I want to teach you. My first stitch is definitely going to look a little weird because I've gone from one kind of stitch to another, but basically it's sort of the same thing where you're going from front to back or back to front, that is. But here I'm keeping track of my loop with my finger. You can see I'm keeping track of the yarn because I need to keep a little loop. And then I bring my needle and my yarn through the inside of the loop. And pull the yarn through my loop. And it will help sort of encase the top. So like I said, the first one didn't look quite right, but I'll show you now. Here's the real thing. So I've got my two sides together. I'm going to go from the back to the front and pull it through. And like I said, we're going to be careful not to pull all the way because we need a little loop of leftover yarn at the top. So see me keeping track here with my fingers. Okay, now that we have the loop, I'm going to pull my yarn through the loop from the left to the right. I have a little knot there, no big deal. And pull it through just like before. Don't make it too tight. So now you can see I have that stitch at the top that kind of covers the gap in between the two pieces of felt. So here it is again, from back to front. pull all of my yarn through, but keep track here to, first of all, not make knots and to have this nice loop so I'm not pulling too tight. Oops. Okay, there's my loop. Bring my needle from left to right, pull it through. And see, there's that nice blanket stitch with the stitch that runs through the top. And then you can just continue like that, doing whichever of the stitches you want. You know, you can do the more whimsical fork marks on your toaster pastry, or you can do the blanket stitch, whichever one you like. The blanket stitch takes a little longer, but it looks much neater. Totally up to you. Okay, so now that I've gotten this far, I'm going to stop because we still need some space open to add our stuffing, right? You can't close it all the way, and if you close it too tight, like if I went all the way up to here, I would have a hard time stuffing this. So I want a nice little pouch opening so I can go ahead and stuff my Pop-Tart. Get into all the corners. Okay, and now I'm going to continue to close and sew around my Pop-Tart. Just make sure the stuffing is how you like it. I don't like to break it up. I like to kind of keep it in the as big of a ball as possible because it's just smoother that way. But it's fine. You do you. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and just continue to close this up. Just remember, as we've been doing, don't pull it too tight. Even though it might be a little harder to tell, don't pull it too tight because when you pull it too tight, your Pop-Tart edge kind of rolls and folds in like that, and we like it to lay a little flatter so it doesn't bunch up our edges. Okay? Okay, we're almost at the end here, so we're going to finish this up. And then we're going to come back around. Let's see. Alright, so right here I'm only going in on the inside. You can do one more stitch if you want it to be a little more secure, but I'm only going through to the inside, and I'm going to make my knot and shove it in there. So I'm just going to make a little knot by bringing my needle through my loop. To hold it with the tip of my finger so I make sure that it's really, really tight, right? So here's where you can see where the knot is coming around. So I like to hold it with my finger. It goes really, really tight, and it gets close. See, it goes really, really close. And you can do a double knot too if you're like me and you really like to make sure it's in there. Same thing, I'm just going to hold it down with my finger. Pull it tight. Cut it, tuck it in, and then you rearrange it. There we go. Okay, so this is the fun part now. So now, now you get to decorate it. So I'm going to use some purple felt. You have a couple of different colors of felt. I'm going to do purple felt and cut it out all funky so it looks like icing. Got a couple of different colors in these kits, and you can decorate them however you would like. You know, we've given you the pom-poms and the felt, and the blue yarn, if you're one of those, you know, the blue and purple Pop-Tart fans, which I am. You should also have some leftover of this yarn if you wanted to make, like, I don't know what this is, a caramel swirl, whatever it is. You make up your own flavor. You don't even need to come up with a flavor. You could just come up with colors. Doesn't even matter. Okay, that is some delicious looking frosting. And then you're just going to use glue that you have at home to put this down. Okay, so you can use a school glue. Hot glue is fine. I don't really like using hot glue with fabric because it tends to get kind of lumpy and bumpy. School glue, fabric glue, go for it. You want to especially make sure that you get the edges down, right? Because if the edges are secure, that helps it from kind of peeling off with some wear. Right. Got a little glue in here. Just flip it over and put it where I want it. And then you can decorate it however you would like. You can, like I said, you can use whatever you like, whatever you have around the house. I have some mini pom-poms. I'm just going to get like a dab of glue on this mini pom-pom and just put it, and it looks like a sprinkle, right? All different colors. If you have some beads at home, you can use some beads. Beads would be excellent for this. And you just decorate it, and then you're done. Paper towels. Okay, and there you go. You've got your little plush Pop-Tart that you can customize, and you've got like a cute little plush friend. If you really want to have some fun and do something kind of wacky, you can always give it a face. You can give it like eyes and a mouth, and it can be your anthropomorphic Pop-Tart. But however you want to make your little Pop-Tart plush, now we've practiced some hand sewing skills and we've made something totally unique. No one else's Pop-Tart is going to look like yours, and that's super awesome. So have fun.